Anyway, so I am 2 full weeks into parenthood at this point in time, and
Goodness.
it is so absolutely remarkable. The phrase that someone had told me prior is that the days are long and the years are short, and
It is the most true sentence ever.
this is the funniest thing is that it's like there's a part of me that's already like I can't imagine what I mean. It has literally been 13 days. It hasn't even been a full 2 weeks yet, and it's just like this is my whole world now. Like this is it occupies every minute. Like I'm always thinking about it. I'm always doing something related to it. We're always tired, but in such a really, really great way. Like the way I keep describing it to people is that like it is the only time in my life where I have been so like sleep deprived, but have such ridiculously high morale.
Yeah.
So it's like you're really tired. And it's kind of like that, like you really just want like the moment, like the window where you can like just go and like lay down for a few minutes and kind of have like a power nap or something. But at no point in time have either Alice and I really been like down in the dumps about anything related to being new parents. Like it's been absolutely amazing. And it's been like really, I think, what is the best way to describe it? Like very incredible to me. This, not to go too deep with it, but like as someone who has had depression for like multiple years now, the amount that this small human can like buoy my spirits is the most remarkable and incredible thing.
It is crazy the effect new babies can have on you. I think one of the earliest vlogs I ever did was called like How to Deal with Anger or something, and it was shortly after Luke was born. And I remember I was just like in like a very bad mood when I came home from work one day. I think we gotten off the phone call with someone, and I was just like, I was so mad.
I remember exactly who it was.
But Luke was just like right there, and I went to go change his diaper and just smiled up at me, and I was like, oh, this is so great. And then we went for a walk, and that helped too. And I think my takeaways from in that vlog were like, find a baby, go for a walk.
Yes, yeah. It makes a lot of sense because it's really been kind of like my thing too. Is we've had reason to be overwhelmed. I guess in the past couple of weeks to kind of like to start to tell this tale as to everything we've been going through since it's happened, because it's been a shockingly eventful period of time. Maybe not even shockingly. I mean, I'm sure anybody who becomes new parents, the expectation is like a lot's going on. But
it's unbelievable to me that every single person has arrived on the planet in the exact same way, and yet I have yet to have a set of friends who have children who have like an even nearly similar birth story about how their kids were born. It's like everyone's here the same way, and yet somehow it continues to be super different for every set of parents.
It is so variable. As to like how all those moments can go down. But for us, like we had like sort of a really, I don't know, it's just been such a long saga because everything started for us. It is currently November 8th of 2021. And I believe we found out we were pregnant for the first time in July of 2020.
Right.
And through the course of the past year and a half or so, we did have 2 back-to-back miscarriages. The first one was pretty early, and like we were, it was like a big emotional blow, but like understandable, I guess, at least, or more common than we expected.
Right.
The second one was extremely brutal, and we were further along, and the complications were just out. They were just very unexpected and rare.
But they were.
It was just a lot. But so realistically, we had 2 months after that pregnancy before we got pregnant for our third time, and this time now being like the full course. But through all of that, like we've sort of had this really interesting and developing relationship with our doctor.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been through 2 miscarriages and now like an entire pregnancy with the same person. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a you spent a lot more time with your pregnancy doctor than probably most people do
Yes.
leading up to the birth of their first child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that, it's like, especially that second miscarriage, like going in and the way that he had to like deliver the news to us as to like what had happened, what was going on, the circumstances around it. It was just like, it forged this like relationship with this person that was so like, so it's hard for me to talk about.
Dude, it's okay. You're doing great, man. I am proud of you for even being able to talk about it, because it's like you've been through a lot with this one person, and the stuff you dealt with was emotionally heavy, and I know what you're about to say, and I know that's even more emotionally heavy. Well, maybe not even more, but it's very heavy as well.
Yeah, it really is. So, we go in, we sit down with this person, and this is someone who just like loves what they do. They really care about, every person. Sorry.
It's all right, man. Take a breath. This episode of The Pop is brought to you by Ben's newly discovered feeble emotions, having become a parent.
Yes.
Not feeble. That's the wrong word.
Yeah. Extremely sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah, so we went in, and one of the things that like anybody who knows us through this entire process has known that we've talked so highly of our experience with our both nurses and doctors along the way, and I'll get through it, I promise. So as we got closer to our birth, one of the big things that we had that just ended up being bad timing was that our doctor, who again had been with us the whole time, was going to be off work and like out of town for like a big conference that he had to go to, and it was really important to us for him to be there. So, and it was going to be like 4 days off of our due date anyway, so it wasn't like a big deal. But we ultimately ended up going the route with induction specifically so that we could have him there with us.
Yeah.
Because that was just like, it was so hypercritical to just our experience, so it's not that I would always advocate for this path or say that it's right for everybody or anything, but it was right for us. And so we got in and we went through, started like the labor process, and Alice labored like a freaking champ for, 24 hours. And then
It was a long delivery.
it was.
Yeah.
It was. We went in on my birthday, and so we were there. Like I said, like Alice was just like going through all the contractions, all the motions, just like all the stuff for this big long stretch of time. And then finally we get to the point where we can like push and everything's going well. And Alice is doing, again, just like so incredible. I mean, she was such a champ through, I don't know. I mean, just what is so physically taxing, and just the level of physical exhaustion, the fact that she hadn't eaten for, over 24 hours. And so like we're going and going and going, and everything's really intense and hard. And then we sort of have this moment where Alice's fever basically spikes, and that it spiked to a point which basically meant infection was involved. So
Right.
like, cause you can raise your temperature just by laboring, because it is an incredibly difficult process on the body. But it ticked over high enough that it was like, this isn't just from that. This is something like much
Something else is happening too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there was sort of this like, moment where the doctor comes in and, he's sitting down with us, and he's like, we have these three options. We can either, everything is of course your choice. Like, you're allowed to determine which path you want to go on, but you can either switch to an emergency C-section. You can continue to push, which may be more dangerous, where we can basically like accelerate the delivery by using like birth tools effectively. Which is ultimately the path we ended up going, because the real danger both for Alice and the baby all of a sudden happened, and it was like, we need to get her out,
Right.
all at once. And so we like everything starts going forward, like the whole team goes into action. There's just a group of nurses just like everywhere in the room with you. It's just an absolutely unreal experience.
I mean, it is. I remember we had a similar situation where, yeah, once like Luke was arriving, I mean, it's crazy that Alice was in it for 24 hours. I think once Beth went into delivery for Luke, it was like 15 minutes. It was like, boom. But it was, there was like all of a sudden this insane urgency because no one was expecting it. And all of a sudden it was just like, here we go.
Right.
And I remember doctors and nurses like frantically running around. And you're sort of looking around and like, no one's talking to me and no one's really saying if something's wrong. But it's like, I don't know. It's like even now, maybe they were saying stuff. I remember people saying things like, "Oh, the oxygen's dropping" or something. But yeah, all of a sudden, all these birth tools were out, and they ended up using like the forceps and getting Luke out of there, and everyone was fine in the end.
Yes.
But it's just like there was and it's like I don't know what it's like when people give birth. Is it always this crazy and urgent, or this feels like there's like I don't know, 19 more people in the room than I was expecting. So
right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's definitely how it was for us. So, and for me, like I'm like, everybody's wearing masks, but like, the way that like I communicate with people is I'm always trying to like read people like through their eyes. So,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm like, I make eye contact with me and I need to know like what you're feeling based on this moment. So, Addison comes out and, they set her on Alice, and Alice is just like in a state of pure euphoria because
Right.
like she's done it, she's got it. Like her daughter, our daughter is there in her hands, and it's like we did it. But like those first minutes, I remember I was like looking from like person to person to person, and of course all these people are talking to each other because they do this, like they're a team, they deliver babies, they know what they're doing, and they know like the procedures. But me standing there, I'm like, what is happening? Why are these people? How is everybody talking? Is she breathing? Like,
Yeah.
And they're trying to get her to cry to like get like the fluids out of her lungs and stuff. And so just like I'm like having this moment of pure, I want to be pure excitement, but I need to know that she's okay.
Right.
Like I can't go high and come down. So like I need to know that she is okay. And she was. So all around, I mean, it was such a cool experience, and I love watching people who are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Like it is just something that I have like an utter fascination with. And so to get to see these people in motion, especially like the nursery, nurses who are the ones that like sort of take them and like get them all ready and do all this
bundled
stuff.
up, wiped down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the level of like efficiency and both like, speed at which they can like handle this child who in my mind is like, like has like glass bones, I'm like,
The exact opposite.
right. Like you have to be,
They're basically made of rubber.
yeah, just noodles. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But it was just really cool. It was really cool. And then like to have those like first moments and to like see her eyes, because you and I both have like green eyes with sort of like a gold ring.
Yeah.
And so like one of the first things as like her eyes opened up, you could like see this like really faint ring around like her pupil.
Oh,
and
really?
I'm like, oh my god.
That's crazy.
She's gonna have my eyes,
That's
and
amazing.
amazingly cool. But then like because there's this possible infection involved, they gave us a very brief period of time, and they were like, here's your baby, take your moment, and then we have to take her to basically start on antibiotics.
Now
immediately. And so, like everything you read about it is there's like this big skin to skin
the skin
moment.
to skin thing. Yeah.
Right. And so really like our whole plan is just being like dumped right out the window to no fault of anyone's at all. It's just how things went.
That's the piece of advice I would give to anyone who's about to have a baby is like, go in with like it's okay to have a plan, go in with the plan, expect it all to go out the window.
Yes. So literally Allie had like three key stipulations. She was like, I don't want this, and I don't want this. And all three of those things happened. And it was like, okay,
Yep.
well, what are you going to do? So that's the other bit of it though.
But how does she feel on this end of it?
Allie?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
did those things end up mattering?
No,
Right.
no, not at all. So like everything's good. Everybody's healthy. Allie's healthy. Addison's healthy. So all is well. But then they had to take her from us. So we go through all of this stuff. Like this year and a half worth of pregnancy. This 24-hour long labor, 2 hours of pushing, pure chaos, and then she like leaves the room.
Right.
And we're like, Allie and I are just sitting there like, what
do we do?
What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? So it took 2.5 hours before we got her back.
Oh man.
And there's a picture that Allie took, but like it was like me getting to like really like have a moment with her for the first time. And it's so, I'm so glad she took the picture, because I think, and I posted it to my Instagram, but I feel like you can just see with your eyes exactly like what I'm feeling.
Right.
Like I'm just like, I'm so immediately so obsessed with this like small person.
Right.
She's so great.
Yeah.
She's so great. But so anyway, I mean, we got to have our early experiences. We got to, we had to spend a couple of days in the hospital because of the infection and everything. And Allie had to be safe. The baby had to be safe. Everything had to get through. We finally get home, and this is sort of where things got like, they took like this really just odd turn, because we've basically just had like a perfect, 48 to 72 hours when Alice gets a call from her cousin, who works at the doctor's office that we go to, the doctor that we've been with this whole time, and he died.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the next day.
That is unbelievable.
It's
And he's like, because he wasn't like an old person.
No,
at all, right?
no,
He was like
he's-
mid-40s or something.
yeah,
right?
like in his 40s. And,
Goodness.
So I mean, this was like one of those like weird. It's remarkable to me. I guess the underlying point that I would want to say is basically just that, like, it's amazing to me. I think how, as much as like Addison needs us in every single way, it's like she is absolutely the thing that like is making it okay for us. Like that, it's like saving us basically, because
Right.
it's just, I don't even know how to, I mean, I can't put words to it. It was like just the most shocking and unexpected thing imaginable, because, he's like been this like rock for us the
Right.
entire time. And it's just been this person who just cared so much about the health of our baby and making sure that she got here safely. And he like, even specifically like got us this like induction date before he was leaving on the trip so that he could be there.
Right.
And so, like as far as we know, Addie was the last baby that he delivered.
Right.
And then
Goodness.
yeah. And
It's crazy how stuff like that can like I don't know, happen and work out in almost this like what feels like almost like divine intervention kind of way. Like, you could have chosen to wait for him to come to come back from the trip or something.
right.
In which case maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Like I can't even, like, as terrible as it is, like I can't imagine what it would have been like if that had happened while you were still pregnant. Like then it's like that much. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's really the thing, is that like, we're obviously just so immensely grateful that he was able to be there for it. And I do think it meant a lot to him, as far as we could tell, like, because, he had seen us go through this just like unbelievable journey, and he had been there for every step of the way. And, I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot. And as everything has unfolded over the past couple of weeks, it's really just like Allie will have all of these moments, like where she just went through like a major physical medical procedure effectively herself,
Right.
And this person who we've always been able to, to call and say like, hey, we have this thing going on. Like, is there anything that we can, like, that you recommend? Do you have any thoughts? Like, whatever. It's like, for us also, it's like, we kind of felt like we were just like alone.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have that like support system to get back to and everything. Which we're building back now. And things have started to find their way, but, it's been interesting for me too, because on the pop, I feel like I ask a lot of these like really big questions of like, what is the point, I guess?
Yeah.
And, I really feel like one of the more remarkable takeaways that I've been able to have is that I can't possibly imagine, like, if anything ever happened to me, having a situation where I could want anything more than the response to the loss of this person, like what it has been. Like it's been so clearly someone who had left such a positive impact on the world. Like I feel like I can absolutely safely say like just made the world a better place. And I think that as you kind of like look at it in this way, for me, it's like, it does give me some context. You know, it's like, I can't imagine wanting anything more, even for myself, where, you know, if anything had ever happened to me, the reaction from the people around having felt like that was like, that's something for me to aspire to.
To like leave a positive impact.
Is to leave a positive impact.
Yeah.
Is to have that feeling that like everybody who knew me or was near me would be able to know that is it's a I can't ask for a better legacy. You know,
right.
we've talked about that before too. It's like,
yeah,
you know, for that to be.
Well, it's like, it's such a good testament to the difference like a single person can make. I mean, we sort of joked, you know, earlier about the anarchy on the pop, but that was mostly one person's doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and they've affected everyone listening now.
Right.
But, you know, we've talked a lot on the pop about, you know, when you feel like people you looked up to, like almost like celebrity status wise, have like, you know, feel like they like let you down over the years. Like when you find out about like the Michael Vick stuff or the Lance Armstrong stuff, and you're just like, oh, come on, man. Like, this is like, it's such like a buzzkill.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they feel like these big people who you look up to, but like, and they're in like such a public eye. But I mean, this person was a doctor, so he's not entirely out of the public eye, but it's much more like local single person here at a hospital, not like worldwide nationally famous or anything. It's just like a person who has, you know, patients and people he deals with, and still made like an enormous impact on like thousands of people's lives.
Right.
And you know, it's it doesn't, you don't have to put, you know, I think it's easy to put like celebrities or large figures up on pedestals, but and forget that any given person can still have a massive impact on a lot of people.
That's a really, really, really good way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so true, is that it's like you, because I even think that idea of celebrity itself can maybe be put a little bit on a pedestal, like as if like it is desirable to have that attention and voice maybe that comes with it. But there is so much to be said for the real and individual touches that you can make with all of the people that you do know more directly.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think, I don't know, I think that as I, you know, move forward, I know that this will have probably changed like elements of who I am, and I hope that this is just something that like I'm able to take and use it in the best possible way. You know, like, and I think that in a lot of ways it's you know, to even have known someone who did have such a massive impact on you, like, again, it goes back to that thought of like, you know, if even this was the response, if this was me, and there was someone out there who was like, okay, like I want to aspire to be like that, then I think what you have is just like that pay it forward effect, maybe, where it's like it's like kind of like positivity can breed positivity, and it's not like I feel like a lot of times we talk about positivity in this sense of like versus negativity versus criticism, and I don't want it to ever come across as like, you know, smile through the tears type of thing or something like that. You know, like
right.
Don't hide negative emotions to attempt to be positive. Like that's not really like the message, I guess, that I would be projecting. I don't know, if you were to take something away from listening to our shows, our products, because I do know that one of the things that people have said about us and what we've created over so many years now is that it is a place you can go where there will be positivity.
Yeah.
Like we don't have episodes of our show, maybe this one, that are typically in a more negative vein.
Right. But I mean, and this is, I'm biased, but like even as we're talking about this right now, even though it's like a heavy topic and it's like a negative thing that happened, I feel like you're casting like a very positive light on it.
Yeah. Yes. And that is what I would hope for is just that my brain can't, probably parts sadness and sleep deprivation, but I feel like it's attempting to join thoughts and missing. It's I'm just so very grateful and happy that I was able to know this person, and that this person was able to bring Addison to me, and that both of those things I think will make me a better person.
Well said.
Thanks.